Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy here.
And this is Big Geek Umar.
Finish the line, bro. Finish it.
You'll never get the timing right. If we can handle it.
All right.
Yeah, so yo, tell them what happened, bro. Tell them what happened. What did we just watch right now,
All
bro?
right, so we're doing another version of our right after watching the movie in the car park. That didn't come out right, but nonetheless, we just watched Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
And we fucking hated it.
It's so it's trash. It's like straight up trash.
Hence the smile.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. I honestly think, what was the last one we did this in the car park thing?
Dune.
Dune, yeah. I honestly think Texas thinks Dune was better than this.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%, yo.
Because the movie was not as cohesive.
Yeah. Like,
Convoluted as shit.
I'm just like, at a certain point when the actors are just phoning it in, maybe just don't make the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Okay, we totally, like, we're bullshitting right now because that movie was fucking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is your second time watching it, too.
It's my second time because, like, I abandoned them and watched it on Thursday, but, like, at the same time, I'm just like, you gotta get this done. Are we having another car guy?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I really want, though? I want the car in front of us to just get in, turn the lights on, and then just not do anything.
Oh, nice.
So that way we can get some good lighting here.
Also, we get some audience members, too. Aside from you guys, of course. But, yeah, No Way Home affected me equally as the first time around. Also, I should say that, like, the theater I was at, it was also, like, dark, and the screen wasn't that, like, vibrant, and also we were wearing 3D glasses, so...
Kind of like back here.
Pretty much exactly.
Yeah, it was kind of like, there were several times I had to go like this while watching it, but like this time I could actually see what was happening, and I actually caught things that I didn't notice the first time around. So, yeah, I still very much love the film. How about you guys? Darce, let's start with you.
All right, let me just go straight into this.
Hold up, before you do that, spoilers. We're gonna spoil the fuck out of this. So if you haven't watched it, not our fault if you watch this and then you get spoilers. So we warning.
Yeah. And we won't spoil it quick time compared to last episode because my girl's waiting in my car a couple block rows over. She loved the film. But if you want to see another Geeky Pro podcast ever, I can't have her up there just dying in the car cold. So just so you know. Okay, so first off, right out of the gate, this is one of these movies where, like, I want to go straight with the rating, but I don't even know how to rate it because I enjoyed myself so much that it's either a 9 or a 10. I don't know. I'm like, I feel, because this movie is so dense that it needs the second watch for me to, I feel, to get to a point where I can give it a true rating.
Third watch, man. Trust me, I'm with you right now. And
I won't disagree. This is actually one of these films that immediately makes you want to watch it again, and it's in that upper echelon, I gotta say, with The Dark Knight right now for me, right? Like it's
Spider-Man Endgame.
Yeah, it is Spider-Man Endgame, because like I always compare a lot of movies, action movies, to The Dark Knight, because Dark Knight was the one movie I always said, like, most movies, you got your pre-climax in superhero movies, like, oh, it's a big moment, but it's not the big moment, the other one's coming, then the big climax comes, and most of the time it's like a little underwhelming, and then or it's great, and then the movie kind of ends. And Dark Knight was a movie that it felt like it was like there were 3 points in that film where I'm like, this could be the end right here, and I would have accepted it, and it kept giving me more, to the point where I was like, I'm just done. But keep going. And this film just had so many big moments. So again, spoiler, but we got all the fucking Spider-Man!
They all came in! They all fucking came in! And it was fucking awesome!
And what an entrance, yo.
Oh.
What an entrance.
Oh, man.
Andrew Garfield was the first one, and when he came in, the entire fucking theater started clapping like a motherfucker.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing, I gotta go straight into it. So one of my favorite scenes in this film, because I was waiting for it, and I knew it was coming ever since he walked through the portal, but I needed it, and I was delivered, was MJ was saved by Andrew Garfield's
and you
character.
called that too.
You did call that, yeah.
Because it's if he's gonna be in this, you have to set up the because he lost his woman, and this whole thing, it gives him an opportunity for the redemption of that situation, and he got that redemption, and it's fantastic.
And I love the fact that he actually talked about it when he was on the roof. He was like, it broke because we saw it break him.
Yeah,
it broke fucking us, and we were just like we were watching that shit, but it continued to break him. He said, "I stopped pulling my punches," and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Yeah, and so it absolutely was fantastic to see that. And there's so like oh my god, there's so much to talk about. There's if you want to talk about emotional scenes, I feel like this movie gave me 4 to 5, right? If you want to talk about really funny moments that go into the whole all the Spider-Man and put all these funny jokes or just funny moments, it gave me a good 4 to 5, right? Solid one. If you want to talk about action scenes, it gave you a good 4 to 5. This film had
if you want good villains and character development for the villains, they give you 4 or 5.
Right, and it also did a great job of giving send-offs for the other two Spider-Man, but it also gave unnecessary but thankful send-offs for villains that were that villain had a good ending, and it did something nice in this film with the villains that you're like oh great. And especially for Jamie Foxx, I gotta say they
redeemed that entire character.
Yeah, they redeemed that entire character by just letting him be you can just be some Jamie Foxx and
your Legos, man. We all gonna act like I'm not bug-ass nigga, right?
Yeah, let's let him be what he was good at, and then call it a day. But anyways, so much here. This movie is just amazing. One of the best Marvel films, one of the best Spider-Man films, one of the best superhero films. I'm passing on to somebody else.
We're passing it out to T.
Okay, so remember when I told you guys that after watching Endgame, if I never saw another Marvel movie again, or just another superhero movie in general, I'd be good.
I know where this is going.
I fucking eat my words, bro. Because this is a movie that I never knew that I needed so much. And when we saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I'm more hyped for the speculations and the fan theories than I am for the actual movie. The trailer is good, but it's not giving me anything spectacular, no pun intended, that I haven't already kind of anticipated. And going in, they give you all the speculations and then some. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, they're all in it.
Matt Murdock,
Matt Murdock. And I'm like, yo, they gave it to us, man. It's fan service heavy, but in the best possible way.
They wrote it in well.
Yeah, sometimes when they give you fan service, it gets oversaturated and they don't do it well, and the execution is just poor.
Yeah, it's like shoehorned. Yeah,
it's the exact opposite of what CW does.
Yeah.
It's all in the story. They all make sense. Even Matt Murdock, who is the most probably from the story perspective, they needed a lawyer, and he didn't really do anything but show up just to say yes, these things are interconnected,
and it worked.
So he's the most shoehorned, but it was perfectly done. And if you didn't know who he was, then you would, if you had never seen the Marvel TV shows, then they have a moment where, again, spoilers again, something comes through the window and he catches it, and they're all like, how did you do that? He's like, because I'm a good lawyer.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know who he was, then you would be like, what was that? Yeah. They would just move on. You'd be like, I need to go back to that at some point.
But you'd forget about it in 2 minutes because so much other shit is happening.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I love. One of my favorite moments was the banter between the Spider-Man. Absolutely the whole yo, you want me to crack your back?
Yeah.
That.
Oh my god,
I died.
I was like, no, they didn't just do that. The fact that it was a callback to Tobey Maguire's back
injury.
That was just, it was like chef's kiss, man. I was so impressed by that, and the back and forth and talking about the web, the organic web, who's the name? What's the name of the director?
John Watts.
This motherfucker can't miss, yo. He gave us Homecoming, then he gave us Far From Home, and now with this, he can't miss. This is
and he's now in charge of the Fantastic Four.
There you go, man.
That's Russo brothers level in the right hands.
Okay, I will say, I was a big fan of Homecoming. there was a lot of people who were upset with the way Tom Holland was done. They're like, yo, he's like a mini Tony Stark. What the fuck are you doing? That's not Spider-Man. That's not my Spider-Man. And then Far From Home came up, and everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're making Mysterio into this guy, and then all of a sudden Mysterio at the end, the other half of the film, you're like, oh shit, no, that's actually legit Mysterio. But he's still like the Tony Stark wannabe. And then this fucking movie came up. It's like, oh, all you guys who've been like shitting on me for the last 5 years because I've done Spider-Man this way, how about I give you what you want? And I do it by destroying your fucking heart.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a very authentic, tragic Spider-Man story.
You know what though? Like you just said there is like, you say, oh, it's not like the Spider-Man, but it's like you have to think it's a Spider-Man starting in the universe that he's starting in. Of course, he would want to be like Tony Stark. He's a scientist. Tony Stark's the best scientist, so of course he would emulate that. And and John Watts has architected a journey for this man to go through to become the Spider-Man. But of course, he wouldn't just start off like any of the other things, because he have to start in this universe idolizing the Avengers before him and emulating, because he's a child. He's emulating, and now he's gone through so much by the end of this film that he has to actually start coming into his own independence.
But I get the fans' uproar regarding that, because I felt like that was bestowed upon him. Yes, he idolized Iron Man, but at the same time, he never asked for the suit. He was given like 2 amazing suits, right? Yeah. And then like he relied very heavily on those suits, and now, given what happened at the end, he now has to kind of rely on his intuition, his own wits, and like do things for himself.
He has to sew his own damn suit.
Yeah, exactly, right. So it stays true to the Spider-Man that we grew up to love, right? Like, he's not relying on all this heavy tech and everything. And the one thing that I noticed was, in terms of, like, I've never really been a fan of the swinging, the swinging sequences from like Tobey Maguire especially, but then Andrew Garfield as well. Like, that whole thing was always so mesmerizing for me. But then we never really got that from Tom Holland until the very end. And I don't know if that has something to do with the fact that because they're trying to imply that because he has the tech, he doesn't have to rely so heavily, because he has all these things that are scanning the area, right? Yeah. So it's not as flashy, but now he has to rely on his own.
He has to think it out.
He has to think it out a little bit more, right? So you see him a little bit more acrobatic in his swings and stuff, and that whole sequence at the end was so beautiful to watch. And I was like,
I didn't pick up on that until you just said
that.
No,
actually, that's extra. And also, if you think about it, they've included shots of how the swinging were done in both franchises. Because even with Andrew Garfield, he always had, you could see it from his eye line. That happened with Tom Holland in this one. Yeah. You could see him going through the city, doing stuff, just with and also trying to stop things that his enemies were doing from his perspective or close up. That's what they did with Tom Holland in this one. And it's and the thing is they paid this is how you pay homage to what's come before. This film did it. You can tell John Watts is a geek, but at the same time he's a film director too. He's I'm not just going to go all geek. I'm not going to just go all film director. I'm not going to do I'm going to bridge them together, and I'm going to give you guys what you've been asking for, because that's what I asked for.
Mm-hmm. Bro, and can we acknowledge the evolution of the spider sense?
Oh yeah.
How beautiful was that scene where he's it's just a pan of him, and he's yo, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
The camera's just following him, and he's looking at all the villains, and he's yo, what the fuck is going on?
So I didn't notice this the first time around because the screen was too dark, but I pointed out to you, when Doctor Strange hits him out of his body, you see the comic book wiggles, and I was holy fuck, I missed that.
Yeah, and on top of that, he's he's trying to get the whatever the orb thing is from the spider body.
Yeah,
and it's literally, it's the spider sense is moving the body to stop him.
In the comics, it was described that the spider bite didn't give him its spider sense. It opened up his mind to the astral plane.
This is gonna be a random reference.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a random reference that I don't know if either of you guys have seen, but if you watch all of Dragon Ball Super, basically, I know totally random, but Goku gets to this level called Ultra Instinct. Okay. And Ultra Instinct is essentially it's a beyond God level, and what it basically is that his body, he's such a Super Saiyan that his body will actually at both defend and attack on an instinct, and he's no longer thinking. So you don't think about how to attack.
Like drunken boxing?
It's like a flow state, and you're kind of like shut off. And then when they're hitting you, it's the immediate instinct to do the thing that's the most effective without thinking about it. And so it's so fast because it's beyond, like, faster than your brain would comprehend, and faster than the enemy that you're fighting would be able to anticipate. It's a fantastic, like, part of Dragon Ball arc. But the spider sense reminded me of that, because especially when they showed it, I was like feeling it was like Ultra Instinct, because it's like when in all this stuff we're talking about him like now learning to use intuition and the evolution of spider sense, because he barely ever used it, and now when he was separated from it, his body was completely able to use it at like the Ultra Instinct level, and it was his mind that was blocking it this whole time, because it was just doing this stuff, which means that like he could now become. Like, there's been a lot of times where, like, I kind of subconsciously thought, like, man, he's getting his ass beat here, but the spider sense should have kicked in and saved him in this. It's like, now that he's getting out of his own way, hopefully, he'll actually be able to react and show a little bit more of that Spider-Man, like, fluidity that we've sometimes missed.
So, like, another thing, actually, because you were talking about combat, it's like, the fights in this were what we've seen before of Tom Holland, but they also matured. Like, my man, like, when he fought Green Goblin in the apartment complex, that was a fucking dark.
He got his ass handed to him, yo.
He was being like thrown through.
Bro, he got so folded in
like,
that.
Yeah, and like honestly, like I was just watching. I'm like, yo, and the scariest part, Willem Dafoe has not missed a step in 20 years.
He gave me Joker vibes when he got hit.
Yeah. Do you know that he did his own stunts?
Yeah.
Yes.
He demanded.
Yeah, he demanded.
The only way he would come back is if they're like, no, I'm going to do the stunts.
Yeah.
And he's a 66-year-old man.
Yeah, and I love that fact because he made a strong point about, like, if you're not actually physically doing it, it informs so much of the character. If you're just showing up to be a face, like, you're not going to be connected to it. And I think about, like, imagine he just kind of shows up and just does the voice and kind of leaves.
Yeah,
like Lizard and
Lizard and Sandman.
Yeah, those characters. You know, I mean, in the context of everything like that, you know, it's like
they actually reused footage of.
I know
that, right?
And also of Lizard.
Yeah.
Fair.
And I'm like, look, you're putting all this money in like all the other stuff. I don't care if you phone in those guys. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I like the Lizard character, so if they made him a little bit better, that'd be cool. But I'm not hurt by it.
Yeah, like, they redid and did it right for Electro. So like Jamie Foxx, my man.
Yeah, you got redemption.
Doc Ock. I know he jokes that he came in for just the money, but like that guy didn't act like he just came in for the money.
That guy doesn't. He's got too much acting skills. Like, his phoning in might just be that might be his phoning in, or we just won't know the difference.
Yeah, but Willem Dafoe just like fucking knocked it out of the park, and the fights like between Tom Holland and Willem Dafoe were fucking tight. Like the one time, like he has him in his legs and just pounding him on the head, and like he's just laughing, and I'm like.
Give me Joker vibes, man.
Yeah.
But
that character is a lot like Joker in many ways.
A little bit.
Not entirely, but there's a lot of similarities.
Especially the way he plays it. But okay, I gotta talk about this because first of all, I know it may sound like a typical fridge-rated woman, but like the death of Aunt May. That was no fridge woman.
Bro, that was heavy, man.
Like fridge woman. I'm sorry, I'm confused. What is a fridge woman?
So it's a terminology which is like a heavily like sexist one, where it's like the hero can only be the hero after the girlfriend or the mom or the sister, basically a female woman, is killed in an incredibly gruesome way, just to advance the plot.
I'm glad you asked that because I had no idea either.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll send you guys a video for it. It's actually really fascinating.
Okay, we need to do that in another episode. We need to talk about that because I'm learning something right now, and there's a lot to dive into. So
we will have that conversation in another future episode. But like, yeah, so like, her death was her own agency, and also like. I'm getting a little. It's hitting me right now a little bit, but like, you know, when she went down. That hit hard, and like it hit equally hard the second time around for me, and like I'm just like,
you see that tear that came out of her at the
end?
end?
Wasn't hers.
What?
He was crying and he kissed her on the forehead on that side. I noticed it this time around.
Yeah, but what
you trying to do to me?
what hit the most for me though during that scene is they make it seem like she was good. Like she just
Fucking bastard.
Because like she gets hit and you're like, oh man, yo, she must have exploded from that impact, right? But then she gets up and is like, oh, okay, I just gotta brush that shit off. I'm good.
And he's hurt too. He's like, yo, I broke my ribs.
So you're like, and then they do a shot from behind and like the way it was set up, I thought like at some point she was just gonna like collapse and then it didn't happen, so you're like, okay, all right.
They set up
we're good, we're all right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's like, all right, they have their little dialogue, she says the line, and then he's getting ready to walk away, and then she's like, I just gotta catch my breath, and I'm like, oh, don't do this, man. Please don't do this to me.
No, when she said the words, with great power comes great responsibility, I'm
That's
like,
when you knew.
I was like, they made her Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you guys for like finally gender swapping it, but like, yo, why did you choose now? Like, could you? I'll also say like, the show the fact that they showed grieving, which I gotta say like Marvel, that's your entire Phase 4. Like you're just talking about grief, like straight up in every like TV show and now movie. But like, yeah, I'm sorry, I get a little emotional. But like, yo, when he's on the roof and like MJ and Ned give him a hug.
Oh, and he just
Yeah. Especially like I was just looking at MJ because like I feel for Ned, but like I feel Ned and his character, but
that was a hug of someone who loves you.
Yeah, like, and of course she would know how to do that because she did the dating. But
yo, they're hella cute together, by the way.
I know, but like, yeah, I don't. For me, because like,
it's all right, man.
Too many words.
Right,
no, but like,
I got you. We're here for you, bro.
Like the Andrew Garfield and the Tom Holland relationships, the fact that the real relationships of both life does a great job. But like, oh man, it's so good. It's so well done.
It's real.
No, and that's the thing, because like we know that Andrew Garfield and Gwen and like Emma broke up, but like, yo, my man's still heartbroken a little bit. Like he could convince me like, yo, I didn't act. I just remembered the fact that I'm not with her right now, and then I just did the scene.
Yep.
And like Toby, like I'm glad the fact that like he like it's complicated, but he's making him and MJ work. But like, yeah, it's just like. Oh, okay. I gotta say, this movie does a fantastic job of taking everything that is MCU canon and taking what is comic book canon and making a beautiful baby out of it. Like the fact that they did one more day, I think the storyline of One More Day or One Fine Day, or I can't remember what exactly it was called, but it's the one where Peter goes to Mephisto and like basically sacrifices his marriage and his marriage to MJ. To erase everyone knowing that he's Spider-Man from Civil War. And like they did that, but like because he also went to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange's like, yo, I can't do that. And but like that was what he went to originally for Doctor Strange for, and Doctor Strange did it this time. And like you're left brokenhearted, just like what the first Spider-Man movie did when he walks away from MJ. You're like, oh man, why are you doing like that? But like, you know, I wasn't that hurt about it. I'm like, oh, he gonna get her, like, because she remembers him. She figured it out. He gonna find it out. But like him walking away from her, and also in the second Amazing Spider-Man, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, when he's at this grave of Gwen, and also we were talking about the deleted scene from that one. We get that with Aunt May and Tom Holland. Like basically they're like, yo, everything we've done before, we're gonna do it again, but we're just gonna do it in the MCU with MCU brand. And like honestly, I have to rethink my list for my favorite MCU films. Like this is like this is taking up all the Russo brothers, and I'm like, I don't know if I can like this actually might beat Endgame for me a little bit.
I'm kind of on that vibe too.
Yeah. Because like Endgame is a fantastic like bookend to so much stuff.
10 years.
And it's a big action film. And it's great and it's emotional, but I would have to say that like this might be a more solid film where it doesn't
more intimate.
Yeah, because it doesn't have like where that film needed to be a good big piece of action. This had more time to do other things. Right?
I think with this, it's a stronger narrative than Endgame.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
It's tighter too.
Yeah.
Because like there's a beginning, middle, and end, and an arc for beginning, middle, and end for each film. And for all three films altogether.
Yeah.
And like it does show a journey that like I actually want to rewatch Homecoming and Far From Home, and then go see this like somehow.
Oh yeah,
because I feel like there's more there that I'm just not seeing right now.
Yeah.
But like, yo, did you notice about the Black Dahlia necklace? They got her from Far From Home.
She's still wearing it.
She's still wearing it, even though.
So the whole thing, like, so he's like wiped from existence.
Yeah, like Peter Parker is, but everyone still knows it's Spider-Man.
Where did she get the necklace from?
Exactly. It doesn't take away his actions. They still happened, but no one remembers it.
So he still gave it to her, but she doesn't remember where she got it?
Yeah, and she still wears it.
And she's probably going to have an emotional attachment that she doesn't understand.
Exactly.
What the fuck? So, okay, so, and then obviously, you know, they're gonna repo the Aunt May's house, and they're gonna see that dude, like a teen was living there, but they don't know who it is.
Well, also, like that place was kind of like overrun and like confiscated, remember? The DOD did that.
Yeah, it happened. It already happened before.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
And like all the events of Endgame still happen, but they just don't know that it's Peter.
And I gotta say,
oh yeah, the Avengers connections are gonna be real difficult.
Because the thing is, like, and goes right back to the thing, because the Avengers, most of the time, they don't know who Peter is. Here, everyone knew who Peter was.
Yeah.
But like, I gotta say, Benedict Cumberbatch did not phone this in, because like when he said, he was like, everyone who knows you and loves you, and he literally he caught himself say we, and then he's like stopped. And he was like, it's like we'll never have known you, and I was like.
Yeah, no, he. I mean, he's a Oscar level type actor. So.
Yeah, but still, like my man, like yo, when he's in the Mirror Universe fucking up Peter, I'm like, yo, I believe he's fucking up Peter.
Yeah. You know, one thing I really like about this, going back to some of Tactix he said at the very beginning of his part, which was like, you know, if Endgame was the last film I've ever seen, the thing I liked about this is it made me excited for everything that comes next, because it took a perfect end where you don't feel like you needed to add anything more. Instead of taking this universe MCU and going, okay, we've achieved this, now let's just add on top and make it bigger. They go, no, we've taken this and then let's go mess it all up. And then you're like, what? Where is this gonna go now? Right? Because the logical studio approach would just be trying to go bigger and bigger, and you'll get diminishing returns after Endgame to keep trying to stack. Instead of breaking things up, and now you have to like you're trying to get the pieces back together, but you know you're never really gonna get the pieces together. So what's the new thing that's gonna form out of this? Because like we as fans are like, no, get this back together, fix this, don't screw this up, and a lot of the characters will, but it won't be achieved.
I want to say one last thing before we start moving on to the mid and post credit scenes. So like I will say that with this. We have had, and we've talked about at length, Marvel has a formula. MCU's been doing the formula, it's been doing it for 10 years. Then we started getting the TV series, and like there's still a bit of a formula there, but we've discussed it in previous podcasts. This is the first time I've watched an MCU formula film and felt like it was brand spanking new, and I was along for the ride, and I didn't even know it was a formula.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so now the mid-credit scene, very quickly, because, you know, your woman's like...
Yeah, I'm starting to look at this timer here.
Okay, so like a mid-credit scene, we got Venom. Tom Hardy showed up, and like, I mean, I was a little like, oh, well, I guess it's a waste of a mid-credit scene, because I'm not a big fan of Tom Hardy's Venom. I like Tom Hardy, just not Venom. And then my man goes back to his universe, a.k.a. the Sony universe, and leaves behind the symbiote.
Yeah!
So we getting our own fucking Venom.
Yes. Yeah.
I was disappointed at first until I saw that black goop, and then I was like, okay, I'm back in.
Oh, shit. I hope my battery didn't die.
Nope.
Well, actually, we should probably start getting rid of this anyway. But, yeah, so mid-credit scene, I'm pretty happy about this. I'm pretty glad that we're going in a direction where we get our own MCU Venom, and also Sony can keep their own Venom.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Multiverse Venoms, and then there is the interesting point that you'd point out that the Venoms, with each other across universes. Doesn't mean they'll ever have a chance to interconnect, but if they ever do have any kind of crossover, not that I'm looking forward to it, they'd be interesting. But I don't really want it.
Wait, hold on. So when all the villains get sent back at the end, does that mean they get sent back to the point where they're about to die?
Yes, but they...
Wait.
Well, hold up. Doc Ock died well after that, though, remember? Like, he's still, like...
So Green Goblin, now that he's cured, he's gonna get impaled again?
No, because the thing is, like, he was still on his glider, remember, with his full mask on. So there's still a little bit of time in their story. It's just that they die very shortly after that part of the story.
Oh, I thought it was like they were pulled right after, like right before they.
Because Doc Ock said, I grabbed Peter by the throat, and that's when he took off his mask, and that's when he learned who he was, and that's when he was taken.
Got you. Okay.
So, like, instead of that, he's going to be like, yo, my boy, I'm back with you. Let's fix this.
Okay,
it's not going to be like at the moment the blade is going in the skin.
Yeah,
you know?
like, fuck. Then all this wasn't for nothing.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay, so now the end credit scene was not.
It wasn't really an end credit scene. It was a trailer.
It was a trailer. It was a straight up trailer.
I was glad to see the trailer, but I was also kind of disappointed because I'm so used to like the formula of the end credit scene where it comes right into like feels like a scene and like a moment where you're like in something, and in this one I was like, it started doing like the trailer stuff. I'm like, hey, ain't no credit scene.
So for spoilers, not that we've been keeping the spoilers from this point on, but like. The first trailer for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was the end credit scene. And I gotta say, I'm like, I was already jazzed for this movie.
Super excited.
I'm super excited now because we know that Tom Holland is gonna show up at one point.
Yeah, and on top of that, just everything that's happened because of this movie. Now exciting to see what's going to happen. Super excited to see Scarlet Witch show up. I love the like little like start a conversation. She's like, "Yeah, I make mistakes, and I hurt people."
I'm not here for that.
I'm not here to talk about Westview. You're like, what? Then what are you here for?
Yeah.
I just love how it's this big deal, but to Doctor Strange it was so inconsequential.
He's like, girl, I know, I've done the same thing.
It's kind of like you made mistakes.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear what I'm here to talk to you about.
Yeah. So about the thing I did.
Yeah.
I was glad to see that they got Mordo to come back, but bro, the thing about that trailer that had me the most excited is what if Doctor Strange evil like twin.
Yeah. Yep. I'm super excited to see how that's all gonna play.
I called it.
My girl was literally, she was like, "What? When she saw the second Doctor Strange?" And I'm like, there's a lot of stuff on Disney Plus I've been telling you about. Maybe it's time to. Maybe a lot of content here for you to watch.
Girl, I've been trying to tell you, watch it with me.
I'm like, there's a show, it's animated, it's called What If. Yeah, you should So I'm like, I have to give her. I have her a login for my Disney Plus that she doesn't use. I'm like, you might want to just go in here and watch all these shows. like they're not that long.
No, but like, so I kind of want to rewatch. Literally, like, I know I've rewatched the first original Spider-Man 3, but I kind of want to just like do it all over again. Just like do a massive Spider-Man binge.
All the Spider-Man films?
All of them.
Good, done it.
Good for you. I'm just gonna start with the Tom Holland one.
But T, what do you think of the Doctor Strange trailer?
I'm still trying to process the movie I just watched.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like, so.
All right, how you guys feeling right now? Like, how you guys feeling?
Okay, so, have you ever like eaten something really, really good and then you had a sip of water and it washes out the taste?
Yes.
That's how I feel about every other movie coming out right now. I don't want to wash the taste out of my mouth right now. Like what I got was really, really good. I'm not even excited for Matrix right now, to be honest.
To be fair, like, given the way like COVID's going, I don't think we'll be able to watch that in theaters anytime soon.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not super interested in that.
Well,
movie
yeah, I know
right
you're
now.
not interested, but I was excited.
I'm generally interested in the Matrix, but there's something that I'm just like, I have a gut feeling that it's gonna be not as good as you want it to be.
Like, it'll be nice. I hear it's been getting positive reviews, but
it should have came out before this. Oh, that's because it's trouble.
There's probably executives like, this is the Matrix.
Yeah.
Nothing tops the Matrix, and you're like,
John Watson, like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
I don't think you've heard of this little thing called Marvel.
yeah. Like, bitch, please.
Yeah.
But no, like, so like, how are you feeling though, bro?
Man, I have all the feels. I never thought that I would ever see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield return. Like, it's crazy because next year we're getting Batman, Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, and then Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield returned as Spider-Man. Like, that's blowing my mind right now.
This is the world we live in.
It's the world we live in right now. COVID and these motherfuckers coming back and donning their suits again.
and doing a good fucking
Did
job.
not miss a beat. Even Toby, I was so like
Toby, like he like kind of what you were saying in the movie theater. Like he like because of Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, he stepped up his game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he was good with the quips, but you know what though? I don't feel like it was like, how do I put this? It's like, it's not like, I don't feel like he had to step up that much. Like, it was like, I feel like when you watch his films independently and whatnot,
it's consistent.
It's still fairly consistent to what he did before. It's just in this context with the way the Tom Holland films are, his quips I feel like make more sense, and it plays off of the other Spider-Man. Where I feel like a lot of the quips in the other one, I think the tonally he delivered it all the same way in this one. They're just written better. I feel like the original, some of the stuff was just written so campy and in weird timings and editing that it just comes off like, this is what Spider-Man's supposed to do, versus when they're like all doing their thing, it's like, this is him doing the same thing. It just works here. They all work together, and it was great. I feel like not that some people probably do this a lot. I never really done it, but like comparing which Spider-Man's better and all that kind of stuff.
I know which one you like.
But I was glad to throw them all.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Oh, I love Andrew Garfield too. But like, I love when you throw them all together, and then it kind of just removes a lot of that need. Like, which one's better? And I'm like, they're all buddies.
They're all great in their own way.
Yeah.
I would love to see Andrew Garfield come back and do one more movie. I feel like he needs one more movie.
Yeah. I can't lie. I
miss him.
Yeah.
I would love
this movie made me like, I'm like, it was so good seeing you on the screen again, man.
And you deserve to be back on screen. That's what I mean. Like, because Toby, he did his franchise until it died. Andrew's got cut short. That's the thing that I don't like. Tom Holland is soaring, and he's like continuing to soar. Toby, because of everything.
Random thought, but what if Miles Morales got introduced through an Andrew Garfield film? Because Jamie Foxx was like, "Oh, I thought you'd be black because you're from Queens."
That would be amazing.
Right? And then Andrew Garfield was like, "I'm sorry," but he had this kind of look on his head where it's like, "That makes sense though."
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
Right. And I'm like, wow, that'd be interesting. Like,
and actually, to be fair, like his based off Into the Spider-Verse of how like the Spider-Man was in that one, Andrew's the closest to that, where he's like kind of like down on himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like he would be the perfect one to like, and also like the way he reacted, he was like, "Yo, man, that actually sounds good, like a good idea."
Yeah.
Having like he'd be like, "Yo, you're black. That's awesome. This world needs that."
Yeah. I kind of feel like, and I feel like there's so much room for Tom Holland that I feel like it doesn't make. Introducing the Black Spider-Man in the Tom Holland movie might feel like too much competition. How does this all work? Like, I'm sure they can get it done. If they want to do it, they can get it done. 100%. They'll do it in a great way, and it'll be like, Pat and then two separate films. But I feel like Andrew Garfield could do a send off and introduce a new character and have his kind of finish. But yeah.
All right, so we definitely need to stop now.
Yeah.
So,
oh, look, I finally got my light.
Now we get the lights. Now we get the lights. Perfect timing. All right, T.
Okay. Well, what do you guys rate it?
Oh, right now I'm thinking like a 9.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 9.5 too.
Yeah, 9.5.
All right.
Unanimous and good numbers.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been another edition of the Geeky Bros podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy here. Hopefully I'm still alive after this, because we've been in this car a while. My girl's waiting.
Sorry. But this is Big Geek Umar. Live long and prosper, y'all, and like and subscribe.
Peace, y'all.